Yeah, well, it really all starts with the Daytona 500, and that starts next Sunday, and February 16th. So whenever we go to our first race, it's our biggest race. That's where we have the most attention. We kick off the season, our first points event down at the Daytona International Speedway, a historic track.
As the 2025 NASCAR season approaches, driver Ross Chastain has made some surprising revelations about his preparations for the Daytona 500 and his outlook on the upcoming year. With a track record of 5 victories and a near miss at the Cup Series championship in 2022, Chastain has established himself as a formidable competitor in the world of NASCAR. Ross Chastain, at 32 years old, has become a prominent figure in NASCAR. Driving the number 1 Chevrolet Camaro for Trackhouse Racing, Chastain has demonstrated his skill and competitiveness on the track. His career highlights include 5 victories and a second-place finish in the 2022 Cup Series standings. This impressive performance has set high expectations for Chastain as he enters the 2025 season. The Daytona 500, scheduled for February 16, 2025, holds a special significance for Chastain. In a recent interview with Fox News Digital, he emphasized the race's importance as the kickoff to the NASCAR season and the first points event of the year. Chastain stated, "The Daytona 500 is such a big event to kick off the season. To kick off the first points event, the walking out for the Daytona 500, the race is big, but it's the most nerve-wracking for me pre-race because it's the whole season." Chastain describes the moments before the race as filled with opportunity, explaining, "When we're on the pre-race stage and we walk out, it's the first time that the season's starting. So much opportunity is right there in front of me and I get to try to take it." The driver's pre-race nerves are palpable, highlighting the significance of this event in the NASCAR calendar. Chastain's admission about his nervousness provides insight into the mental and emotional challenges faced by NASCAR drivers as they prepare for such a high-stakes race. Chastain's approach to mental preparation for the Daytona 500 is particularly intriguing. He explains how he blocks out distractions once he's in the car. "Once I get in the car, it all goes away. I don't see the grandstands. I don't think about anybody else. It's me, my car, my crew chief, and my spotter. That's it." The driver elaborates on this mental state, saying, "It's amazing how the human mind can just block everything. Everything else goes away. And it's only that car and every detail, every smell, every vibration, every feeling in it." Chastain's partnership with Busch Light has led to an unexpected opportunity, a Super Bowl commercial. This marks the second year of sponsorship between Chastain and the beer brand, and the impact on his career and team has been significant. Chastain describes the partnership as life-changing, noting how it has solidified his position in the sport. The behind-the-scenes experience of filming the commercial was eye-opening for Chastain. His initial excitement was tempered by the realization of the work involved. He explained, "We filmed for hours, a lot of takes. Trying to get the angle right and trying to get my 'what's wrong with going in circles?' It sounds so simple to say, but they wanted it to come across a certain way." The commercial itself, titled Circles, is a 15-second spot featuring Chastain and the Busch guy. It takes a humorous approach to NASCAR's oval racing, playing on the idea of going in circles. The ad is set to air during the Super Bowl 59 on February 9th, 2025, giving Chastain and NASCAR significant exposure to a massive audience. The concept of the commercial is clever and entertaining. It features 2 lost hikers in the woods looking at a map when the Busch guy appears. He advises them, to avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks. Like that. Before pointing to Chastain's car with a camping tent on top sitting among the trees. Chastain then unzips the tent, pops his head out, and asks, "What's wrong with going in circles?" The Busch guy responds, "Different circles, Ross," to which Chastain simply says, "Okay," before retreating back into his tent.
The Busch Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks. Like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
This lighthearted take on NASCAR's signature oval racing showcases Chastain's personality and sense of humor, potentially appealing to a broader audience beyond traditional racing fans. Chastain's partnership with Busch Light has had a profound impact on his career. He elaborates on this, saying, "It's been life-changing, really. What it's done for Trackhouse, my team and me, it's solidified us in the sport. This will be my 4th year going into a Trackhouse and 2nd year with Busch Light." The driver's appreciation for this opportunity is evident in his statement. I used to daydream about seeing my race schedule hung up at my local bar in Busch Light's famous blues and whites. Now, I'm not only on those walls, but in a commercial that will air in my hometown during the big game and across the nation this NASCAR season, starting with the Daytona 500. Chastain adds, I've manifested this moment my entire life, and I can't thank Busch Light enough for supporting my racing career through their massive platform. It's a dream come true, and so was cracking open a cold Busch Light with the iconic Busch guy after a long, fun day filming in the woods. Chastain's loyalty to his team, Trackhouse Racing, is evident in his comments about the organization. He praises team owner Justin Marks' vision and disruptive approach to NASCAR. Chastain said, It's amazing to see what Justin Marks, our owner, what he's built, and just how the team operates, and what his vision was for Trackhouse was exactly this. It was to partner with brands that believed in the future of the sport. The driver elaborates on Marks' approach, stating, There can be negativity around anything. You can pick the happiest idea in the world, and somebody's going to have a negative view on it. So Justin has a forward-thinking mindset and does things a bit different, and Busch Light wanted to be a part of that. Justin's a disruptor. He wants us to come in and do things a different way, and Busch Light lets us be us. They wanted to be with Trackhouse because we were different, because we weren't what they had seen for so long in a sport. This insight into the team's philosophy and approach to partnerships demonstrates how Trackhouse Racing is positioning itself as an innovative force in NASCAR. Chastain's goals for the 2025 NASCAR season are ambitious, but grounded in reality. His strategy for the Daytona 500 is straightforward: survive 500 miles. Chastain acknowledges the grueling nature of the race and the high likelihood of crashes. He states, the goal is to survive 500 miles. It's such a grueling race from an attrition standpoint. So many cars crash, we're so close together. We always think we're all going to do better and not crash, but we crash. It's what NASCAR drivers do. The driver reflects on his experience from the previous year, noting
200 miles an hour. They're trying to keep us under 200. We seem to flip a lot easier if we go over 200, so we try to get right to that number, stay under it. And last year, in the 2024 Daytona 500, I could see the white flag, so I had 2.5 miles to go, and I made a move to win the race, and I spun myself out trying to go through the middle to make a pass for the lead. And, those...
Chastain's perspective on NASCAR and racing provides interesting insights into the sport. He compares the Daytona 500 to the Super Bowl, emphasizing its status as NASCAR's biggest race. In an interview with Nexstar on Super Bowl Media Row, Chastain stated,
It's our biggest race. That's where we have the most attention.
The driver highlights the unique aspects of Daytona racing, including the potential for underdogs to win due to the draft. He says,
California, coast to coast, most of the tracks we can get away. The fast car gets up front, slow cars are in the back. At Daytona, the slowest car in qualifying could win the Daytona 500 legitimately because of the draft.
The driver's respect for NASCAR history is evident in his reflections on venues like Bowman Gray Stadium. Chastain shares his thoughts on the importance of such tracks, saying,
I think we got a pretty good one here with Bowman Gray. I think when you look at the history of it and what the France family has done here, this is where the very first race was ran.
He continues,
This is where Jim France came as a kid on his summer vacations, and with the family up here promoting races, they were renting a house, and hearing that history and hearing Jim talk about when they were paying out the drivers at the end of the night, he was trying to go to sleep on the football benches in the clubhouse over there, the field house.